before that there really wasn't much of like an after school or summer program around, or at least one that was free to the community. A lot of times we had to pay a lot. My parents really couldn't afford that, so we pretty much would be at home all day during the summers and after school and things like that. I remember a few weeks before I started going to the center, seeing a few service corps members like going around the community door to door, giving out flyers, letting them know about the program, letting them know it was free. And then a few weeks later, my parents told me I was going to the community center, so I walked in and met everyone and started going. And I went during every summer, and then I would go after school up until towards the end of high school. So I stopped going to the center. I think I was kind of like wrestling with this whole thing of, you have to leave your community to be successful, and I really was hanging out with a group of people that really weren't from the neighborhood, so I just kind of tried to detach myself as much as possible. I think when I first came to SBMT, I knew a lot about the community, and I knew the people. I knew some of the kids because I knew their older parents, or their parents, or like their older brothers and sisters. So I kind of felt like I got this. I know what I'm doing. I was totally down. And I came here, and I like, even though I was from this community and like born and raised, you still think that you're going in to help people, and that's really not the case at all. And I think my first year, like, I had all these ideas, and I was really excited, and we got to change this, and then I kind of like realized that a lot of the things that I was trying to push weren't necessarily what was needed, and it was my perspective on what was needed and how to. And I really didn't. I kind of struggled with that the first year because I was like, I felt out of place even though I was where I was from, at home, So I kind of, after a while, I think I learned just to kind of shut up and listen, and just take it in and really see what the needs are and address them as they come forth, and not really try to actively search to help people, or this isn't any kind of charity. This is just being with your community and building it up, and not trying to recreate it. But I don't think I would have even gone to college in the first place if it hadn't been for them, these mentors that I had at SBMT, kind of planting that seed of like, oh, well, when you go to college. It was never if you go to college, or do you want. It's like, when you go to college, you can do this, this, and this. It was never like any question of my ability to do it or not to do it. It was just like, you can do this, and it's not a question about it. I started off with English, and then I wanted to be a special ed teacher, and then I wanted to be a regular ed teacher, and then I went to Northern Ireland with Dr. Morris. I took a peace and reconciliation course, and I think there I really just started looking at this bigger picture. I never really wanted to I really didn't want to be a teacher, and I really didn't want to be a social worker, but I did want to work with community, and I did want to work with youth. But outside of like this institutionalized model, like this cookie cutter model, this is what community is supposed to look like, and this is what a successful community is, and this is what successful youth do. I didn't want to deal with that because I didn't think it was real. I didn't believe in that. So after I came back, I had a lot of reflection time and a lot of time to really kind of think about what I wanted to do. Being a part of this whole program and just kind of going through the core, it's completely changed my outlook and my person, and just how I want to interact with people, and how I choose to look at situations in certain lenses, and how I just developed from wanting to be just an English teacher to just wanting to be a community worker. So it's still developing, but it's still going to be in the same field. We're a perfect community. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be some sense of struggle, but I think as long as we continue to have our resources available and continue to welcome everyone with open arms, I think we can just keep going and keep thriving.
I have lived in this neighborhood in Santa Barbara, Martinez Town, for 28 years. My mom is a community activist, so the reason why I got involved in this project is because when I was in high school, she was spending a lot of time with Dr. Morris and Dr. Katira on trying to figure out ways to create a safe place for our youth to go after school, so that we can ensure there's graduation, that they're getting the tools that they need, because we had a graduation rate. I forgot the graduation rate, but I know the dropout rate was in I think it was the 6th grade. Kids were dropping out from this neighborhood. So throughout my high school career, I was watching my mom meet with the neighborhood, knock on doors, figure out, like do a needs assessment, and what they found out was they needed an after-school program, a free after-school program, because this neighborhood is predominantly low income. A lot of immigrants here, just a different dynamic. So I became the site facilitator in 2003. I was like crisp 20, 21, and being thrust into the whole dynamic of APS politics and figuring out how to use what APS is giving me but still keep our program authentic in what the community wants. So throughout that whole time, we were funded under 21st Century funds, and it really gave us, it supported the whole notion of place-based learning, using your community as text. And when that grant ended, there was a whole nother switch in the way that the APS wanted us to direct our programs. They wanted us to be kind of mini schools after school where there was testing, that, you know, it was just tutoring and testing. And that, if we were to go that realm, it would have wiped out the whole authenticity of our program. So those were many battles that we had. We lost, I think, not lost, but our funding ended in about 2006. And we had just been working on Title I funding since then. So we went from a large amount of money to support our programs. We were able to take our kids to any field trip, even their parents, bring in any presenter, to now working off of about, I would say, a fourth of what we've received. Now our efforts are that we are in the midst of getting our own 501c3 nonprofit status. Lindsay Kerwin is the little second in command, and her and I have been working on creating all that paperwork, getting it all together, and really, really solidifying this place as a community school.
The community that I've worked with, or what the Thomas Bell Learning Center is, it's in the Kirtland community, which is right there off of University and Gibson. And historically, that community has been an all-black community. But over the past maybe 5-6 years that I've been involved with the project, it's truly changed. The demographics have changed. It's not all black anymore. It's, you know, more of a mixed program. You know, maybe even more Mexican families than there are black parents now. When black families first came into the community, that there was a lot of older families that were there. So they came in, bought property, bought homes, had families there. And when they had their families grew, you know, a mother and a father came in, had 3 to 4 kids. And so you have all these kids running around, which gave a really large community with a large population of kids. Well, those kids grew up, and some of those kids stayed, but for the most part, a lot of those kids moved on. So their parents may still be there, or the parents that were there may have sold, but the original parents are still there, but their kids have gone on, and they've gotten educated, and you know, with education comes more money, comes more opportunities. So some of them have moved, some of them have left. So that's just been it, you know, and as they sold or as they moved on and rented, you know, there's been other families that are coming in. Some are coming from Mexico, some are just coming in, and that's an area, you know, that's located near the highway, you know, that's not too far from the airport. It's just there in that community where they're more localized, you know, it's more urban there than it would be maybe saying in the Heights per se. Well, our sites were chosen because they wanted to work with communities that were low income areas, you know, but that were rich in culture, rich in involvement, and just really great parents and great families, but they just economically they're just disadvantaged. So that's how the program kind of became, and we worked there, and the program has been there for 8-9 years now. And over the past few years, we've gone from the community to the school. So our program has changed a lot, you know, as far as what our direction is and what our focus is. Before, when we were at the community center where it was initially founded at, we were heavily involved in the community, heavily involved with what's going on, more of the social aspect of it. What's in my community? Who's in my community? What are the needs? and then to the last 2-3 years where we've been at the school, we're kind of taking a different route. You know, we're not as involved with the community, but we're more heavily involved with the academic side, with the school, with truly ingraining the program with the school, becoming more of an extended day program, as opposed to only an after-school program that focuses on community. One thing with the community that I really hope is that because the demographics of the community has changed, the need has changed. So with that need and the demographics changing, you can't continue to attack the issues that affect the community in the same way that you did 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know, times are different, you know, and just saying, and being okay with the change, being okay with the new people that's in the community. I really hope that they start to reach out more, you know, and involve the community, involve these parents, involve the kids into the process, and let them know that, hey, this is our community, and that together we can shape and change our community for the better. That's what I really hope for the community, and I think when that happens, I think that the program will only be enriched by that and will improve and get better. I see the program going. I see the program moving, getting bigger and getting better. You know, truly being involved in the community, staying with the social aspects of it, growing to where they are involved with the school, where they're a part of the school, and the community truly takes ownership of the program. That they say, this is our program, these are issues that we want this program to focus on. You know, if there's a problem with obesity there, you know, that they're going to tackle that issue. Or that if they say, okay, teachers at the school aren't doing this, or the principal isn't doing that, using the program as an avenue to combat that, you know. Getting the kids involved, you know, getting the kids through PSAs, through campaigns, you know, just truly being involved in saying we want our kids to be active participants in what's going on and shaping their future and shaping their education. That's what I would like to have, I think.